All right, so today we're working on the KTM 890 Adventure R, and we're just working on the build, changing a few things to make it more like I like it. I'm going to be installing pivot pegs today, and if you're not familiar with these, they're made in Austria, and they pivot. And I've got them on my dirt bike, and you can see here how they move back and forth. So you got a really good platform, and they move with you underneath the bike, and I really like that. I think I'm going to like it more on the Adventure because it's going to allow me to get to my shifter better and my brake better. These stock pegs, I know I can take this out, but the brake pedals is way too low, and once I put the pivot pegs on, then I'll go ahead and make some adjustments, but and get that pedal height the way I want it, or reverse it to where it sticks up a little bit higher. So there's options, and we can maybe get into that later, but it's really simple to take these off. I went ahead and took the cotter key and bent it, and you can just grab it like that and push it, and it'll come right out. And then from there, we'll remove the pin and put the pivot peg onto the bike. So let's get started with that. I'm just taking a punch, and it's got a flat head, and tapping the factory pin out. This is spring loaded, so just careful with that. And then we're going to install the pivot peg, reusing the factory hardware. And so this particular one has a little thing that holds the spring in place for you. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier. So let's see what happens here. I had to kind of fumble around with my spring a little bit on the dirt bike. Looks like we've got it pretty close to being lined up. All right, it's perfect. So we'll get this lined up with the other side. And once we do that, after we get it lined up with the other side, we'll tap it through, and then we'll go ahead and put our new pin in. So we've got the pivot peg in place, and yeah, it really looks like we've almost have even more of a difference. So let's give it a go and see if we can get this adjusted to where we don't have such a difference in height from the brake pedal. So there's a couple of torque screws here. I went ahead and loosened those up, and I think if we turn this brake pedal over, hopefully it's going to be just a wee bit higher, and that will keep us from having to completely adjust the linkage. So I do think it's nice that KTM made this pedal where it's reversible. be helpful. And I just lost my tool, so I guess we'll have to dig that out, and we'll get started again in just a minute. Okay, so if you guys have been following along, we put on the Black Dog Cycle Works skid plate and my little Torx bit, rolled right to the other side because there's so much clearance underneath the motor now, to kind of guard against impacts. So, so that was great. And it looks like we've got improvement here by raising that up, so we're, you know, almost level with the foot peg now. And I might go ahead and, while I'm doing this, just make a quick adjustment to the linkage to get it a little higher, because I like it being a little bit higher, especially if you are doing a wheelie or something like that and you need to apply the brake. Makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so we've moved over to the shift side of the motorcycle, and so we're going to remove this one and install the pivot peg over here. So the way that I'm remove these pins, and everybody's probably different. I'm sorry, I've got my arm in the way of the camera, but yeah, I just take a pair of needle nose and kind of get them started. And once I get them pretty straight, like so, then what I do is I reposition it however I need to. And once I get it repositioned, get them as straight as I can, then I kind of move to the bottom, and if I can get a hammer on it, I'll kind of tap it a little bit just to get it started. And if I can't get a hammer in there, then I'll take another pair of pliers and just press them in. So it's not exactly lined up, so I'm going to try to get it lined up better. Of course, when I try to do this and not edit it, it is probably the worst one I've ever done. So let's see if we can grab a hold of it and get it out of there now. Okay. All right, so we've got it out. Now we'll take the hammer, watch out for the spring. So you know, they will jump out. The one on the other side didn't. So I would suggest wearing safety glasses or something to protect your eyes in case the spring jumps out. So, you know, on the last one I had a little bit of problem. It didn't take me long, and I cut the video so I could get the bottom lined up, but I remembered an old trick of taking, you know, something and putting through the peg. So we're going to give that a try on this side to see if that helps the pin line up. So we've just got a drill bit. got it lined up on the bottom side. That's going to let me tilt the peg however I need to get it lined up on the top. And that didn't work. But this is what I did a minute ago. Let's just get the pin in position and then tap it on through. So it's maybe not the best way. I'm sure there's people out there that's got much better ways than what I do. I am just a average guy trying to save money, doing my own work, and plus I enjoy it. So pull that around, pull it around on this side. And then there you have it. So pegs are installed, but let's see what the weight difference is, because we've got, you know, a substantially, you know, larger area here for your foot to rest, plus it pivots. So I weighed the pivot pegs prior to installing them, and so they weighed 1.8 pounds. So we need to get our stock pegs and weigh them. I'm missing a spring, so let's put the springs on here. Okay, so we've got 1.04 pounds, and so really not a significant difference in terms of the weight of the peg. So I'm very pleased with the minor addition in weight for what I'm gaining. So hope this video helps, and have a great day.